All right, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Minetest Gameplay of Sorts. Yes. And today we're going to look at some lights. Yeah. Cool. So, oh, look at the skies. Very ominous looking skies over the garden here. We are going to go up to the factory because I found something really cool, and usually I do not like to do a mod review when somebody else has done a mod review. However, there are some times when there are missing elements, and I found something really cool. Now, the mod I'm talking about is the I forgot what the mod was. No, I did not. It's called the TechPack. I got a lot of stuff going on out here at the factory. So, yesterday, Nathan over at Minetest Videos released a review of the TechPack. And while it's a very good review, there was one little itsy bitsy thing he left out, which I find extremely useful. Now, I had changed in the Lua, or not in the Lua, in the Minetest config, the minetest.conf file, I had changed that entity time to live. I have the exact wording of it, and I still am finding just garbage all over the place. Oh, I love that sound. So we're back out here at the factory, and you notice, look at that. And you'll see a change. It's a street lamp. All right, thank you for joining. Goodbye. Now, there's some really, really cool stuff here. Let's take a look at the TechPack real quick. I will leave links in the show notes and description to Nathan's review of it. And it's a very good looking mod. I believe he posted a bug report because you can't bring up the display, and it does not appear to be the same display as DigiLines, but there's a lot of cool blocks in here and stuff that I want. I am only going to hit on one specific thing, and now there is a tutorial on how to use this mod, which I will also leave a link to, and you have to kind of give it a once over to understand what's going on with some of these pieces. So, of course, if you go over to my website and you go to mods used, you will see all the mods, and there it is, TechPack and extra ores. Somebody asked me about extra ores, and you can go from there. And you can go to the photos page and upload a photo of your build. Yeah. And you can see my stuff that I find interesting. And there's my dragon. Enough of that. So let us get into the mod. Isn't that right, Ichigo? Uh-huh. So, wow, the whole sky changed. I don't know what time it is. There's somebody fight. Oh, he's fighting a ninja. I'll let him fight that ninja. So we come back over here, and I change this area up a little bit because I want to change. Somebody asked me about the titanium gun. The titanium gun and bullets come from extra ores. However, the new version of extra ores doesn't have the titanium gun. It has 3 different weapons along with the other ores and stuff like that. So I'm not sure if there's an older version out there, but I'm not updating this version to that because I like that weapon. So we are out here. Put some stairs in. I saw this over on another server, and it didn't dawn on me to use slopes as like a guardrail, and that looks really cool. Now one thing, oh, please go away. I need to get to this over here. So if you go into if you type in tube, there's a whole bunch of stuff in here, and I'm purposely not going to cover stuff that Nathan already covered. However, I find there's certain parts of this, like the street lamp, and there's also a ceiling lamp. There's also a timer, a Mesecon converter, and a tube Libre repeater. This stuff is really cool, and the programmer. So he covered all the harvester, which I want to use. There was a way to create biofuels, biogas. It has its own tubes, a pusher. It has these tube block doors, which are really cool. So yeah, we are going to play with this stuff here. So what this is a combination keypad. It looks cool. It's kind of big, but it looks cool. So what you do is you right click it and you're going to program it with an access code. I just used 1, 2, 3, 4 for mine. Oddly enough, that's the same combination that King Roland used in Spaceballs for his luggage. And it opens, and you go in, and it'll close. If you notice, these doors are set up on a gate controller. So that's how that works. Now, I have some other gadgets and fun things up here. I replaced all my huge, I believe they're Technic switches, with these really cool smart line buttons. In the tube mod, it turns on all my lights. That's cool. So in here, I have a thing called a controller, and you have to have a battery within one node of the controller, and it's all in that tube library. It doesn't appear that everything is listed, because there's the safer Lua controller and the safe smart line controller, and then we have some other stuff in there. See, that's the DigiLines control panel. That's not an LCD display. And I even tried, that's a DigiLine, that's an LCD screen. However, I need to get rid of this quite quickly. Let us see what that makes. I might be using that wrong. Okay, that's part of Lua controller. I believe that's the laptop. That's what that is. Yeah. Okie doke. So, it's raining. I'll get to the rain in a second. So, I have my controller programmed that if input 24 is on, then the tower, this light over here, tower 39, is going to show a red light. And if it's off, it's going to show a green light. So how this works is when you click on a condition type, you can have inputs, condition of different blocks, and you have to read the instructions. That's called a signal tower up there. So this is what I've been able to figure out so far on here. And the cycles mean how many times a second it'll check. If you set it to 0, it'll wait for the command from the block that I'm using. Now, I've already had this thing shut itself off for whatever reason, but after you save, and this will be start. So yeah, that's how that works. And there's the battery, and you have to have it within one node of that controller. If I go ahead and hit that button, which is linked to the command block, or the block 0040 and 0022. So that is the controller, which is 0040. 22 is my controller for this gate. and I'll show that in a second. If I right click on that, it opens up, the light changes to red. We have some wolves outside, and the door opens. I close it, it changes to green, which means the door is secure in my world. Yeah, so let's go over and see how I did this. Over here, what I did is I put a thing called a Mesecon Converter, which is also connected. It's connected to node device 40. So when that push button gets a signal, or when the push button gives a signal to this, it converts it to a Mesecon signal, which will then open the gate. Yeah. The gate's closed right now. So if I come out here and I turn this on, it opens that up, it turns that red, and we come over here. Now that's block is on because this is active and the gate is open. Very cool, huh? So that is one way, and that was a question Michael had asked concerning, can you make those big doors run on? No, he didn't. That was a different type of doors. But this is a way to interface these buttons and everything with that door. What that was in reference to was the castle door, and the castle doors will not, they can't be externally triggered or controlled. So that will close. And I did have that working on here, but it kept hanging. So I kind of went back to that. So let's go see what the other changes were that I have made. I replaced all those huge buttons. Why am I carrying that around? I replaced all those huge buttons. Now sometimes to get them to link up. And I have that's also going to the same controller as the other one. Nice delay. And that opens that one. We come over here, and that button closes it. How brilliant. I'm in the dark here. So over here, I also replaced all of those. I should put like a nightlight in. I replaced all of those with all those big, huge buttons. There's our lights. There's that one. Oh, there we go. And let's turn on the lights over in here, which will also turn on the control room lights. I have a switch up in the control room to turn those lights off. And then I can also come in here and I can turn off the lights from in here. So it's very cool how all this is linked together. Now I will show you real quickly how I done. No, that's the wrong switch. I didn't want to turn that. I want to close the door. Very cool. So that's how I went about replacing it. And you can see right off the bat the actual look of it, because if I go into and I get a switch, this is the switch from Mesecons, and it works. However, it's huge. That's nice and pretty and small. There's nothing against that. I mean, it worked fine. I blended that in, so that's not an issue there. So it's just, I wanted to make this all streamlined and make it all better. Come out here. That is just so cool how that changes that. So let's go outside and let's do a quick demonstration of this. I do have out here set up on a timer. Under here is a timer. So at 6 o'clock, that device, number 14, will turn off, 6 a.m. At 6 p.m. or 1800 hours, number 14 will turn on. Cool. One of the drawbacks of hiding stuff is you kind of have to remember where you hit it from, but that's okay. So if we go to night, boom, it turns on. That is so cool. And you go back to daytime, it turns off. It turns off. Thank you. Hey. So we are going to give a quick demonstration on those lights. And this is because this is one of the main things about that mod. That right there. Even if I don't use the, there's also a quarry that'll dig underground. There's also a harvester. There's a lot of other cool things in that mod. And like I said, watch Nathan's presentation of that mod because he gives a much more in-depth look at like the harvester and stuff like that. So we are going to replace some lights. Now, I modified the Streets 2.0. I took the lights out and made it its own separate mod, which I'm debating on whether to show that. But those lights are timed and will turn on. So what we are going to do here, as you can see, we are going to replace the lights in the parking lot here. So I am going to get rid of this. I think we should go one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now let's see how this looks. We are going to go. Oh, you picker. Thank you. We're going to replace these lights real quick. And we are going to use that. And I don't have to remember what these are. And I'll show you the trick in a second here. Because I'm going to use a thing called a repeater. And I'm going to put this controller over by my... Now these I am going to have to raise at least one. Get rid of these. I really like how those look. So we are going to go here and here. Oh, I left the door open. How nice. And this is going to be a relatively short video because these 40-minute videos are just killing me here. So that look how cool that looks. I wonder how it would look if I put one on top. No, I like them on the bottom hanging. So come over here. I have to do some tree pruning because it's in the way. Duh. And like I said, this goes into the fact that I will install a mod just for one thing. But I have a funny feeling I am going to use a lot of things on here. And just to save time, I'm going to just do one more. The one thing I don't know is I have to look up what is considered an active block. And that's a block that does something. Like the quarry and stuff like that. So if these are like active blocks, I'm going to be in a little trouble here because I am decking out this area all for the sake of realism. All right, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this side of the parking lot. I could have done those other lights, but I don't want to waste everybody's time here. I want to get this. I want to show a couple things here. So you take this programmer tool. We have a lot of blocks that we are going to program into this controller. So we're going to come out here and you right click on it and it says program number red. You just click on the light. It's going to read and it'll show you in the, if you turn the debug on, it is going to show you which one's it red. Now you could write all this stuff down and then you could do what I'm about to do by hand, but you know what? That's not the purpose of this. So we are going to put this controller over here, and I don't want to mess up my lawn. So we're going to go 2 down, and I'm going to stick this thing called a repeater. The repeater right here, and I'm going to stick a timer right here. I'm going to go back to my programmer, and I left clicked on it, and you can see that it programmed all those numbers in. Very cool. It will not do this. If you do this, it'll say unknown. For whatever reason, it won't. It would be nice if it did. And you know what? I did not. Oh, tube repeater number 86. You can see in the grass here. Let me finagle over so you can see. Duh. If you look up, it says tube repeater 0086 connected with all those other nodes. That's important. Did I say? Yeah, 86. So now I'm going to go back and go into my timer. And at 6 a.m., I want 0086 to shut off. Easy enough. And at 1800, I want 0086 to turn on. And sometimes it, let's see if it saved it. 06, see, it didn't save that part. 1800, close. And now it did. So the 6 a.m. 0086, the repeater will be commanded to shut off. At 6 p.m., the 0086 will be commanded to turn on, and it'll turn on everything on that repeater. So let us go and see if that is true. We will go to nighttime. Oh, look at that. Look at that. It turned on. Like I had any doubts. And I'm talking in a high voice. That is so cool. And these should turn themselves on because I am at night. Cool. So I have all these options. So you're coming off the highway with the newfangled stuff, and you're coming off the highway and you see these low, the kind of old town looking streetlights. Thank you, Mr. Bear. And that looks totally cool. And we have our working stoplights over here. There's something about the realism of having stuff turn on and off by itself. Can I have a green light, please? I'm just going to run the red. There, thank you. So that worked out really cool. And you may want to mark your area. I mean, you could put there's a manhole cover. I wonder, simple manhole, advanced manhole. Simple manhole. I'm going to go with the simple. Okay. It looks okay. But it kind of gives an indication that there's something there, that so you can remember. But doesn't do anything. That's fine. Close that. Those lights look fantastic. And I do still like the look of these lights, but That is so cool. Let's go back to daytime. And they should all turn off. That just gives an extra, see, those are on still. That just gives an extra thing of realism. Now, we have these gates, and Nathan did show this. This is 88 and 89. I like Junglewood. And I like steel. I was playing around with these. So it's probably because but the steel looks different from behind. I wish that was on the front. And these can be programmed into this said gate switch, which does not have to be next to it. I just did that. So 88, 89. I wonder if 88 and 89. We come in here, door block number 0088 space 0089. And we're going to give it a code of 1, 2, 3, 4. So now it's programmed. Right click on it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And they open. So you can do some interesting things with that. That is that one. We already looked at the repeater, the Mesecon's converter, the timer, the programmer, the street lamp. These ceiling lamps are also, you could punch them or right click on them, and they will also turn on with my switch. So let us put something here, and let's put the switch real quick. Just to put a switch there. So that's number 91. When you hover over it, it'll tell you what device it is. So this is going to be a switch, or we can make it a push button. I want to make it a switch. And that, which is very important, 0091 is our destination block. Save. We're not going to make it public, but I hit that and it turns on. Hit it again, it turns off. It would probably be better if I did it at night. Come on. Yay! So if you hit that switch, it turns on, it turns off. And that's a really good looking, that's a nice compromise between Home Decor's thin glow light and this. That makes it real cool. It's real cool. What else do I want to show on here real quickly before I let everybody go? And there, I'm barely touching the surface on here. There's also invisible light, which is kind of interesting because it'll put an invisible light. Duh. So if we go here and we put an invisible light, and this is 92. Unfortunately, once you program something, to reprogram it, you kind of have to do it again. So 0091, 0092, and that 92, 91. So if I hit that, that turns on. And that turns off. We'll go back here. You can see the outline, but there's nothing there. But now there is. So if you wanted to just create light in an area and you didn't want to put a physical light fixture, that's what you do. And then you break it. Very cool. So that's going to do it. I don't want to drag a video out, but that is right there. Just the ability to have realistic street lamps in your town. And they're very good looking lights. You can also do them with, you don't even have to use it. You can just right click it to turn it on, turn it off if you want. if you just want it manual and you don't want to do anything else with it. So that is, that's going to be it. Over here, I also put some just on a pole, and I put them in over here. And they look really cool. And I put one as a, I put one up here. There's like a door light. So, come on. Takes a few seconds. There they go. Lights up the whole way. That is really sharp. So, by playing around with that mod, I'm gonna change out all these lights. Oh my, that's a lot of lights, but it is definitely worth it, especially over here, just to give that authentic, that realistic view. Yeah. So plans that I have, I'm gonna go around and change all my lights out. That would be so cool if I can make those. That shouldn't be that hard. I have to look at the code if we could add more styles of lights, because now it's to the point where of really wanting to make a realistic type world. So there, like I said, there are a lot of things I did not cover, and this going along with what Nathan covered in his video. This is a very cool video. And on some, if you do not have if you have unified dye installed, you'll notice that this just turns on white, and it also has a number. So you have to just throw dye at it. And now you have that. And that is how I keep hitting it with dye. That is how that works. So, very quick video. I have some ideas and plans. I saw, I was visiting a server, hometown server, and I saw their downtown area and immediately fell in love with some of the building styles that they had. And I've been looking for a way of making said building, like you see like downtown Chicago, or any major, like New York, all the buildings are connected. And that's what I want to do in that area over by where I have my little test stuff, by the Round Restaurant. So I'm going to be working on that. I started planning out the cave house and go from there. So thank you for joining. All links will be in the video description below. And yeah, everybody have a wonderful week. And until the next video, goodbye.